We are looking at this quadratic here, and we're asked to factor this one. And this one's a little bit more complex. And the first thing whenever I'm looking at this, I look at my expression here. And I want to ask myself, is there anything in this expression here, and all three parts that they share in common that I can take out? I've got a 15, 85, and 50. 10 won't go into, it looks like 5 will go into all three of them though. So what I'm going to do, very first thing I'm going to do is take out a common factor, and that common factor is going to be 5. So I take that out, and I'm left with just a quadratic inside. Now we know we've done it correctly if I can go ahead and distribute this 5 back in and get my original one. So 5 times 3a squared would give me 15a squared. 5 times 17a would give me 85a. And 5 times 10 gives me 50. So I know I've done that correctly. So this 5 stays on the outside. We do not cross that off. That is going to be part of our answer. Now what I have left in the middle here is a quadratic. I need to factor that, so I need to factor what's left in parentheses. Well, anytime I do that, we're going to use the Berry method on this one. There are a couple different methods out there. I find that students seem to like this one a little bit better, so that's why I'm using this one. With the Berry method, after you've taken out a common factor, the first thing that you're going to do is write down two binomials, but sort of. You write down the beginning part, and it's a 3a in both of these. Now, we know that this is wrong. If we take 3a and multiply that by 3a here, that's going to give me 9a squared, not 3a squared. So we know we start with too many, and this seems absolutely wrong. I know it seems a little bit confusing, but we're going to take out our excess in a moment. Okay, but we're just going to start with that, 3a and 3a. Okay, now what we do is we have to figure out what these other parts are here, the second part here and the second part here. The way we find that out is we figure out what multiplies, we need two factors, okay, that multiplies together to give me a times c, but adds together to give me b. All right, so let's look at this. A times c is 3 times 10 is 30. So it needs two numbers that multiply together to give me 30. But add together, let's see, b is 17. But add together to give me 17. Okay, 30, so I can, let's see, 30 times 1, negative 30 times negative 1. I can go through all of these. 5 times 6, none of those seem to add up to 17 except for 15 and 2. 2 and 15, it doesn't matter what order you write them in. Okay. 2 and 15, they're both positive. They multiply together to give me 30, add together to give me 17. Well, now that I know that, I can go ahead and fill these in. I can write in a positive 2 here and a positive 15, so I'm going to do that now. All right, and we still know that this is wrong because 3a times 3a again gives me 9a squared, so we know this is wrong. We've got too much in there. The way that we can get rid of our excess is we look at this. With these two here, is there anything in common that they share that I can pull out? Well, 3a and 2, nothing, other than a 1, but 1 doesn't help us. Okay, what about these? 3a and 15. Well, they share a 3 in common, so I can take out a 3, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, if I take out my 3, I've got a plus 5. Okay, remember 3 times a gives me 3a, 3 times 5 gives me 15, so I know I've done that correctly. Okay, so now, and I didn't take out anything over here on the left-hand side, so I'm going to just bring that down. Now, here's the confusing part, and so you want to really pay attention. The one that had the common factor that you could pull out, or maybe there's 2, that's the one you always cross off. So that 3 we're going to cross off. Because remember, we started with too many. We had 3a times 3a, and that gave us 9a squared. So that one doesn't work. But if I take this 3 that I factored out, and I cross that off, that's going to leave me 5, let's see, 3a times a, which would give me 3a squared. That gives me my original one. Now the 5 is going to stay here because after I multiply 3a times a gives me 3a squared. I still need to get back to this original one, which means I'm going to need this 5. So this 5 is going to be a part of my final answer. The biggest thing you need to realize here is you're going to cross off the one that you take out. The common factor that you take out here you're going to cross off, not the original 5 that you took out. Okay, so it's just that original 5 is going to stay there, just this one that you pull out in this step.